Hi, my lovelies. This is a dark out. It's nearly 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I forgot to mention amongst my many, I guess, commentaries, whatever, on this channel. You know, I know I said I'm going to do show documents and pictures like that, but I didn't have the energy to go online on my computer. So I was, doing some tidying up and stuff and relaxing. So, anyways, I wanted to mention where I used to live in North Highlands, and they took my hard drive. They stole my hard drive and shit. It's not gonna work because these little low lives, these were meth heads, they thought they can find something. But listen, so was it on this hard drive or maybe a different hard drive? Whatever it was, I had some information in regards to the investors of the apartment complex where I used to reside. Now, remind you, there was cameras in my apartment, and I'm gonna post that too. Damn, I got so much to do to show you where it was by my light fixture. And I remember my old neighbor, her husband is a cousin to my aunt, right, in marriage. And, they told me all this stuff, like, they knew who I was before I knew who they were anyway. And my neighbor's sister worked for the Department of Health and Human Services, like for CPS, but at the state level, right? So little did I know they kept bothering me about going to church. Granted, I used to go to church when I was little, many different churches, Seventh Day, Mormon, Baptist, Pentecostal. Everywhere I used to go to, you were going to work, people would invite me to their church. You used to go to church? Like, damn, do I have a cloud over my head? We used to go to this one church that my grandfather knew, or my mom's family, they knew that. The guy, because the pastor at the time, they called him pastor or reverend. This is back in the day when they used to have the Jesus on the wall. And I guess his first wife had passed away. So whoever's listening, they know who this is. The first wife passed away on the riverbank, I guess coming from Sacramento to Woodland or from Woodland to Sacramento. And, I guess they dozed off, whatever. I don't know what the story was, but my mom said the first wife passed away and he remarried another wife. So he had like a bunch of kids and they all look like him. And my cousin, first cousin, but then I found out, she's my cousin anyway, regardless, but I found out when my uncle had passed away, she wasn't really blood related to us. And she was part of this church, pastor. I guess that's her grandfather, I guess. So, but my uncle took care of her and acknowledged her as his daughter. But we never knew as kids. Those days, people don't talk shit like that. They keep it to themselves. But anyways, long story. So, after my research, because I was always wondering, like, why people want me to go to this church. It's called Faith Fellowship, right? It's in North Highlands on Watt Avenue. It's a purple church. So when I walked up in there, I walked up in there and I seen a lot of symbolism. And see, the way the world works, if people don't know, like these low lives in North Highlands, the world works in signs, symbols, numbers, and colors. That's why, they're so prone about geometry. They teach you in a sense like a math, but if you don't know about geometry, see, because people see numbers and figures differently than the average person who's trying to learn math. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the church and I'm looking on the wall, I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, okay, everything's purple, which I know what that means. They had this poster on the wall. It had these steps but it was disguised like church, something like that, but it wasn't. So I'm looking around, sitting in the pew or whatever it is, and the social worker who's on my case for my daughter, so she was there. A lot of state people were there. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Because my neighbor, her sister worked for the Department of Health and Human Services, like CPS, at the state level. And I kind of felt weird. So I went to go around and give handshakes to the elders. They all wore white in the white hats. And I gave them a handshake as if I know what the fuck is going on. They were stunned. They were startled, you know. But anyways, so I did my little research. And the pastor of that church, he must have known, because some of the people were the Archies. If you know who the Archies are, there's a big family. The father, or probably grandfather now, but the father was a reverend in his own church in South Sacramento. And I used to go there, really. Mom really didn't go. She called the church bus, they'd pick us up and we'd go. And they probably knew why we were sitting on the church bus, because the community back then in Woodland was so tight-knit amongst persons of color. So long story. So I'm looking at the pastor. This is a different pastor. His name is Melvin Gene Barney. I'm looking at him, and when he was preaching, talking about he needed more money in the pot. He came from Los Angeles. He was hired. And I'm paraphrasing. He was hired to do a service. And he's not an attorney, though, but I believe he's not a good one, because he's not working as an attorney. He's working as a pastor. And I wonder, why is that arm not moving? So like I said, a prosthetic, whatever. That's neither here or there. So I wanted to ask him questions after the church was over, but he seemed exhausted. I'm like, I ain't gonna ask him nothing. So I slept on it. It's like just like later on, I slept on it because the way his behavior was like just different. And he came from Los Angeles. And he said he mentioned something about worldwide church. Like he's trying to give an example, like the church is really basically owned by the worldwide church. Like they're underneath because see, the church is not like how it used to be. I mean, it still is like a slave. It's a slave. What's the word I want to use? It's controlled. So the higher ups, the higher churches, let you know what you can say, what you cannot say, even though they're 501, whatever it is, 501 something for churches, nonprofit. So long story. There's a lot of drama in there. Women were fighting. I hear them in the bathroom talking about how he divorced his wife, about to get divorced his wife, and how he like this, that, and the other. I'm like, damn, people gossip too much, So, but I don't go to church because they're hypocrites. When I used to go to clubs, dancing and shit like that, whatever. And I should see the people being in the church, pastors too, fucking with prostitutes and everything else. And then on Sunday, they go and preach the sermon. Fuck with hypocrites. I mean, granted, they say this, that, so, but the devil is wicked. I always say the devil is as a wicked soul. But as I continue to observe the church, I'm looking around the church. They probably took down those posters. I went again. I was invited again. I was like, damn, I really didn't want to go. And because they probably want to say, oh, that's her. That's Fatima, probably. They're all eyes are on me anyway. So, long story, fast forward. I looked him up. This is Pastor Melvin Gene Barney. Okay, he's an attorney, fine. I guess personal injury. And I thought, okay, maybe, I can ask him some questions in regards to my case. But then I thought maybe he doesn't know anything because he came from Ohio somewhere. And then went to Los Angeles and came to Sacramento. So I slept on it. I kept having downloads of dreams, dreams, whatever it is. And I kept tossing and turning like, damn. So I got on my computer late at night. And I'm checking out something. I found out he was one of the investors of my apartment complex. I said, I'll be damned. So that means he was part of the camera thing. The hidden cameras exploiting us on the dark web. And I guess after that got exposed, I'm assuming, allegedly, he stopped preaching. Because all of a sudden, people from the church, I recognize some of them, not all of them, were stalking me, following me. Everywhere I went to Target, I got to order online and go try to pick my stuff up. And they'd be right there in the parking lot. I go somewhere else, they're right there. These people from the church. Well, what the fuck is this going on? But I didn't say anything. At the time, I didn't really recognize him. I started taking pictures and stuff like that. So then later, I found out he was an investor to the apartment complex where I used to reside. I said, okay. So then that means that he was part of the people watching those hidden cameras when I'm using the bathroom, what I'm doing, or whatever case may be. Next thing I know, I don't know what happened at that church. He quit that church and went down to Los Angeles, quick in a hurry. So I had a long list of investors, that apartment complex. Because when you invest in some kind of real property or anything, you get money every month, quarter, whatever, however it's set up to be through the acquisitions, whatever it is. I know that. And so I think that's when the harassment started, because my brother knew the Archies as well. I mean, I did too, but not extensively. We used to go to Sunday school or whatever, but some of them I don't even know them personally. Actually, all of them I don't know them personally. And so I was like, okay, let's see. So like I said, he quit that church, Faith Fellowship. They did a whole revamp, and then he moved back to Los Angeles. He's originally from Ohio. I had a whole bio on him, and they took that shit. Because my thing was, and I believe, in my opinion, and allegedly, that he was part of the people watching those hidden cameras. He was an investor. How can you not know? Watching us naked or whatever, using the bathroom or whatever I was doing, whatever. Because when I went to that church, I was invited to that church in 2016. It was like all eyes on me. Social workers, state workers are all there. Most of them were state workers, and CPS. And that's how they be trafficking these babies, these children, to the church as well. So I wanted to share this bit right here with you guys. I had to share this just for me, for documentation purposes. I turned my comments off because people were so rude and shrewd. They don't know how to act. But, hey, I should put my comments back on so they can implicate themselves. What you say is being documented as well. But I'll be finally glad this is over, because I'm like, this makes sense. I haven't been stalked ever since I got to those islands. Part of it, I believe, is my brother from before, and a social worker, Holly Foray. And then when it was Highlands, it was all she wrote. And they're so obvious. They're not even incognito. They're not even good stalkers or whatever. But it did not deter me. I wanted to find out who it was. Because, see, I'm not the type of person, like some people that get afraid to go to court. They get scared to write the lawsuit. Some of them, they don't know because they've been on that short bus. They get nervous because they get complacent, because when they're in these brick and mortar schools, they teach you to obey and be docile. When you're an independent thinker, you are a threat. I mean, granted, I've been in brick and mortar myself, but I've always been quiet when I was a young kid. And I've been very observant. And I was asked questions like, why this, why that. I look up stuff for my own, information. And I watch a lot of political stuff too. And people's opinions about, what's real, what's fake, what could have been, or what's not been, how things work, to people's opinions. And I make my own analysis. But anyways, I wanted to share this a bit with you guys in regards to that investor. And he was a pastor and had his minions follow me, harass me. And I'm not sure, and I wouldn't be surprised. It was the county doing it. The county was denying it. And, oh, no, it's not us. Yes, it was, because when I went to that church, a lot of CPS workers was on my case for my daughters were right there in the audience, looking right at me. I wanted to cuss the bitch out. But, I would hold my composure. Because, see, that's what they want you to do. Go off a tangent. Oh, she's a mad black woman. And she's very combative, aggressive. And that's what they did over here, too. Try to get me out of character. So I had lowered my tone. I was like, I didn't feel good no way. I'm like, you know what? Because I'm the type of person, I won't argue with you anyway. I'll just let you go and vent because I know right now, I guess the leasing manager, whoever he is, here, he was arguing with me. I really didn't want to hear it, really. But I had to raise my voice, so where's the sense of the lease that, 6-month annual inspections? And you say inspection is to check the smoke detector and change your filter. That's not an inspection. I didn't say that, though. But he was arguing with me, raising his voice. And I know he was probably pressured to do, because what they do, they get like 4 units, maybe 5. They make it appear they're going to everybody else's unit. 2 of them are vacant anyway. And they go to mine, we did everybody else's division, not targeting you. I've been there, I've been through this already. That's how it started at North Highlands. That's how I told the lady who came to my door. I said, this is, I said, I've been through this already. See what they read, whatever I wrote, whatever I did, that's a surface. But it all started when I first moved in. We're going to do the inspection, check the smoke detectors. And I just moved in May 2015, and they want to do an inspection in June. I mean, come on. But, at the time I was trying to relax, trying to get things in order, I didn't know about no rental laws, nothing like that. I never had to go through this shit, And I think that's probably what they wanted me to leave, because maybe they saw me on my computer. I didn't know this at the time. My computer was wired, or the lines were wired to the people upstairs and to the management office. Same thing over here. Same thing. So I think he was pressured. And I said, well, where does this say in the lease about semi-annual inspections? Because I ain't signed nothing, But yeah, this investor, who's a pastor, who was a pastor at Faith Fellowship, abruptly resigned and went and started his own thing, and he's down in Southern California. I thought that was weird. Then I thought about it. Maybe because what I filed. Because I had a list of all the investors, and these bastards from North Highlands took my shit. They're gonna get it too. Talk about my younger brother was talking about, it's the FBI. I said, FBI doesn't do that shit. They'll get you a warrant and they'll bust through your door or knock on your door, whatever the case may be, and come up with boxes of shit. They'll just take one piece of paper, And I probably have it on my flash drive. I don't know, because I have a lot of flash drives, a lot of them. So I probably should just double check, because I had it on my computer, but I probably have it on my flash drive somewhere. Well, anyways, until next time, you guys, have a good Monday, and be safe out there.